In the last lecture, we have seen that what is the need of coordinate system. Therefore, in this lecture, we are going to start to understand the coordinate systems, or more specifically, we can say different orthogonal coordinate systems we are going to study. In this topic, or in this lecture, we are going to see the Cartesian coordinate system only. So let us start the topic Cartesian or rectangular coordinate system. Now the coordinate systems are two types. One is called the orthogonal coordinate system and the other one is called the non-orthogonal coordinate system. In orthogonal coordinate systems, the axes of the coordinates are mutually perpendicular to each other, and in the non-orthogonal coordinate systems, the axes are not mutually perpendicular to each other. That is the basic difference between the orthogonal and non-orthogonal coordinate systems. Now we need to focus on the orthogonal coordinate systems, and more specifically we can say we need to focus three orthogonal coordinate systems to understand or to apply the electromagnetic fields derivation to understand the electromagnetic field equations using these three coordinate systems. One is the Cartesian coordinate system, another is the cylindrical coordinate system, and the third one is the spherical coordinate system. Now the question is, why we need to study different coordinate systems? Why not only the Cartesian coordinate system? Why not only the spherical coordinate system? The answer is, suppose we have a given problem. Now if we want to solve the given problem in spherical coordinate system, it is seen that it may happen that it is very difficult to solve the problem in spherical coordinate system. But if we transform the problem from the spherical coordinate to the Cartesian coordinate system, then it may happen that it will be easier to solve. That is why we need to see or we need to study different coordinate systems. So as we have the idea of the rectangular or the Cartesian coordinate system, that means we are familiar with that coordinate system. So let us start with the Cartesian coordinate system. So here let us start with the Cartesian coordinate system. And in this Cartesian coordinate system, the axes are x, y, z, and it is mutually, these three axes are mutually perpendicular to each other, and the range of axes are given here. X will vary from minus infinity to infinity, and y and z also vary from minus infinity to plus infinity. Now suppose we have a point P given here, the position vector in this coordinate system, and the point P is defined by the point that is x, the coordinates x, y, z. Now we want to find out the distance vector from this point O to the point P, and that is represented by this vector r. Now to find out this r, first we need to find out the vector s. The vector s can be, we can find out the vector s easily by the vector addition. That means you can see that the x, vector x plus vector y, and vector x will be along the x-axis direction and vector y will be along y direction from 0 to O to this point. So now if we have the value s, the vector s, then we can easily find out the vector r. So the vector r will be the summation of vector s and the vector z. So that is why we have, ultimately we have the value r equals to s plus z, that is equals to x plus y plus z. Now the point is that s is a vector, so if s is a vector, then it has a magnitude and also it has the phase angle. So we can use the parallelogram law to find out the magnitude of s and the phase angle of the s by the expression here. The magnitude of s, that is mod of s vector s, root over of x square plus y square plus 2xy cos phi, and the phase angle theta equals to tan inverse of y by x. So this, in this way, that is known to us, we can find out the magnitude of a vector and the phase angle of a vector here s. Now this vector r can be represented in general way, that is given by this expression. You can see that the vector r equals to rx into y plus ry into j plus rz into k. Here rx, ry and rz are the components of this vector r along the direction of the x, y and z axis respectively, and this I, j and k are the unit vectors along the x, y, z axis. So now this r is the representation, general representation of any distance vector or the any point described in Cartesian coordinate system, and the distance of that point from the origin can be written from this expression. Let us see that. Before going to see that, we are going to see the description of the or definition of the unit vectors, that is also known to us. The unit vectors I can be calculated as the vector x divided by the magnitude of x, that is mod of vector x, then j, which is the same way we can find out j, that is the vector y by mod of vector y, and vector k, which is equals to the unit vector k, which is equals to the vector k divided by the unit vector the mod of vector k. Now suppose a vector, point vector A is represented in Cartesian coordinate system. So this point vector can be represented in general expression, just like the general expression we got. We can represent this expression by this equation 3, that is A equals to AXX plus AYY plus AZAZ. Here capital AX, AY and AZ are representing the components of vector A along the x direction, y direction and the z direction, and the unit vectors is small ax, small ay, small az, or ax cap, ay cap, az cap. Now we need to find out the cross product and the dot product of the unit vectors. To remember easily, we are going to use the famous unit circle, that is the circle. This is the unit circle. On that we are representing I in this arrow, j here and k here, and if we move from in the anti-clockwise direction, then we can find out I cross j equals to k, j cross k equals to I, k cross I equals to j. But if we move along the clockwise direction, then we can find out I cross k equals to minus j, k cross j equals to minus I, j cross I equals to minus k. Similarly, we can replace I, j, k by ax, ay, az, and we can get the cross product of three unit vectors. Here it is written, you can see that. And if we move in the clockwise direction, the expression is written here. Now if we want to find out the dot product of three vectors, you can see that I dot I, that will be equals to 1, because the cos theta will be 0, so cos 0 is 1, so unit vectors I dot I will be 1. Similarly j dot j will be 1, k dot k will be equals to 1. And if we want to find out the dot product of I dot j, so here you can see that the cos theta is 90 degree, so cos 90 is 0, that is why I dot j will be equals to 0, and j dot k and k dot I also will be equals to 0. And now we can replace this I, j, k again by ax, y, z, z, but the formula will be same to calculate the dot product of three unit vectors. Now along the vector A, we have considered another vector B, and we want to find out the cross product and the dot product of these two vectors. So here is the diagram. You can see that the vector A is represented by red line, dotted red line, and vector B is represented by the line, dotted line. Here vector represented by the sky color, vector B, and the angle between these two vectors are theta. Now this vector A and vector B can be represented in general form, that is given by A equals to AXX plus AYAY plus AZAZ, and B equals to BXX plus BYAY plus BZAZ. Now if we want to find out the dot product of A dot B, then it will be magnitude of A, magnitude of B, vector A and vector B, into cos theta, that is the angle between the vector A and B. So if we calculate this one, you will get ax bx plus ay by plus az bz. So this term is the scalar quantity. So if we take the dot product of two vectors, we will get the scalar quantity. Now from that expression also we can find out the angle between these two vectors, that is cos theta equals to ax bx plus ay by plus az bz divided by the mod of a vector and into mod of b vector, and the mod of a can be found easily, that is root over of ax square plus ay square plus az square, and similarly b we can find out. Now the cross product of vector a cross b, you can see that if we take the cross product of a cross b, a will be along the x direction and b will be along the y direction, then a cross b, the direction of a cross b will be along the z direction. That means the direction perpendicular to the plane on which the vector a and b are present, and the calculation of a cross b can be easily we can find out. You can see that from this uh, expression we can find out, from this expression we can find out the cross product of vector a and b, a cross b, a cross b we can find out by this formula. Now if we have three vectors, then also we can find out the products of these three vectors, but here in this case we will get two types of product. One is the scalar triple product, other one is the vector triple product. So the definition of the scalar triple product is given by this expression 4. Here suppose vector a is given in the as the edges of the parallelogram. You see that vector a, vector b and vector c. So the scalar triple product we can find out by the definition which is given by the 4, that is a dot b cross c. Now why it is called the scalar product, triple product? Because you can see that b cross c will give us the vector, but this a dot this b cross c vector will give us the scalar product. So the scalar value. So we will get always the scalar component. That is why it is the scalar triple product. Similarly, the same result we will get if we calculate b dot c cross a, or if we calculate c dot a cross b. So if a, b and c are vectors, then a dot b cross c is the volume of a parallelogram having a, b and c as the edges of edges, and can be obtained easily by finding the determinant of these three vectors. Here it is given by the expression 5. You can see that the component of a, component of b and component of c, and from that we can find out easily that the scalar triple product of this a, b and c. And as I said earlier, the calculation, that is the result which we will get here, is the scalar component. That is why it is called the scalar triple product. Now again, the definition of the vector triple product is given by this expression, that is a cross b cross c, that will be equals to b into a dot c minus c into a dot b, and this is the famous formula known to remember that, that is called the back cap formula, that is a dot cross b cross c, that is back bac, that is b into a dot c minus cap c into a into b, a dot b. So here you can see that b and c is given. So b cross c, if we find out, then the direction of b cross c will be along the z direction. Now this b cross c is the vector. So the cross product of a and this b cross c, if we find out, then that vector a cross b cross c which we will get, that is perpendicular to both the b cross c and a. Here we should note that a dot b into c will not be a into b dot c, but we can get a dot b into c, that will be always equals to c into a dot b. So that is the note we need to know. Now the other the topic here is the components of a vector. Now as the position vector or the distance vector is represented in Cartesian coordinate system, then we can find out the component of that vector along the direction of axis of the coordinate system. Suppose we have a vector r along the xyz means the Cartesian coordinate system. So that vector r can be resolved into three components which will give us the direction which will be in the x direction, y direction and the z direction. But here to understand the the component of the vector, we are going to consider here the two-dimensional coordinate system. Here the vector A is represented here, and the component of A along the vector B we have the scalar component, and the projection or the component of vector A will be can be scalar or vector. Here the vector A, the scalar component we have considered AB, and this AB can be calculated as equals to A into cos theta AB. Here the theta AB is representing the angle between A and AB. So by this formula we can find out the scalar component of the scalar component AB, that is AB equals to A dot AB. Similarly, the vector component, if we want to find out, that is A can be decomposed or resolved into two terms, that is because it is the two-dimensional coordinate system, either it is parallel to B and other one is the perpendicular to B. Here AB is representing the vector which is the parallel to B, and A minus AB which is the perpendicular to the vector B. So that is all for today's class, students. Thank you very much.